streaming, babe.
What? Are you serious?
Whoops. Okay. Yes, yes. I can't find the intro. Okay, here it is. Hello, hello. Welcome to the show here. I thought I'd come on and do a little explanation about the Hermetic Harmonization that we're going to be doing tomorrow. We've had a couple people sign up for it, and they had some questions about what to expect and what it would be like, and I wanted to make sure I clarified what the delivery type was going to be and all the details of it. And basically go over what it's all about. What is it all about? So thank you for joining me. I'm sure you have plenty of other things to do. Happy Friday! It is Friday, the day of Venus, a day of love and attraction. If you missed our morning mantra where we talk to the spirits, well, may you be blessed anyway. So anyway. The Hermetic Harmonization. The idea for this came because it's that time of the year. It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's the darkening time here in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest. And as we went from October and Halloween, when everything was cool and fun, into November and on into December, it's the time where SAD kicks in, the seasonal affective disorder. And it's that time of year, it's after the harvest, and the first wine is coming in our traditional Hellenistic cultures back in ancient Greece. They referred to this time of year as the Dionysian time. So basically between November and February was the time that the maenads would be out and about, because slowly but surely the darkness and the isolation, the crazy time of the year would set in, and we'd start to get cabin fever, and there's not much to do besides get drunk and tear people apart. Metaphorically speaking, of course. So they referred to this time of the year as the Dionysian times. And anyway, it can be a little stressful, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. This has been a stressful time, for thousands of years, and it's the time where we have Saturnalia. It's when the Christians adopted Saturnalia, and Mithras had his time of the year, this time of the year, and there are lots of things going on in the middle of the long dark period where we celebrate the return of the sun, because in the middle of the darkness we have the equinox. But before the equinox comes, there's just that darkening period where it just gets darker and darker and darker. And in modern times, we have Thanksgiving, and then we have Christmas, right? And it's a very stressful time for us in general if you're not in a really great situation in your life with your family, and you don't have really wonderful relations with them, or if they're on the other side of the political spectrum than you, then it can be a more stressful time for you than it would be for people who are actually in families that are, I don't know, getting along and cohesive around the same ideas. Anyway, it can be a stressful time, and Thanksgiving is traditionally like one of the worst days, and getting through it, at least in my history, it has been. Once you get through it, though, it's okay. But then there's the stress of Christmas coming. So this has been like the period of the year where I try to reconnect to my source and re-energize, and I feel like that's been really effective. And this year I wanted to present to everybody else a way to touch base and to reharmonize and re-energize yourself in the middle of this darkening time, because it's times like this when it's important to remember what we can do with our magic to be in tune with this stuff. Over the summer I was teaching these classes on the process of integrating the planetary powers into your life, and I made all these ways available for people to go through the initiatory process. This particular Hermetic Harmonization event is designed for people who are either, if you've gone through the initiations that we were talking about all summer long, this will help kind of get you reintegrated as we go through stressful times like holidays and family get-togethers and the financial stresses that come around this time of year. It's always very stressful this time of year for one reason or another. But as you go through these stresses, your spheres, your connection to the different planets, the stresses of your daily life, it takes your attention away from your source. It takes your attention away from your magic, and it focuses you on your drama, on the emotional stuff that comes up, on your fears and your concerns and your frustrations and all the negative things that come along with this holiday. Like if you look at Black Friday and the battles at the door we used to see, that's the kind of stuff that capitalism brings out in people. It really does. This time of year brings out the absolute worst in drivers, in parking space grabbers, in trying to get the last item off the shelf people, ungrateful children not getting what they wanted. It's a stressful time. And my family, and probably in a lot of other families, if February was a time of romance, this is the time of birthdays. So pretty much between November and January, and when my kids were young, we had Thanksgiving, birthday, Christmas, birthday, right? So that was the time of year where like everybody needed gifts, everybody wanted a party, and if you gave one kid a party, you had to give the other kid a party, and then there's some holiday party, and it was just a nightmare to be quite honest. But I'm feeling much better. But if you're in a situation like that, this is the kind of ritual I think would be very useful to you. And so as you go through these stressful situations, your sphere can get out of whack, and you forget that you're a magician. We've been doing these daily chants and the daily conjuration of the spirits, and the Zeus cult people that joined me in the morning, which is a small group of wonderful people that I enjoy very much. And we bless each other as we are blessed, sort of like the Jupiter cult thing. But if you're not doing that every day, you're not getting this refreshing harmonization with the seven spheres in a regular way that keeps your spheres clean and energized. And even if you are doing that, this particular ritual is going to be a little bit more potent. So what we're going to be doing is, if you can hear the bowls in the background, this is the level of vibration that you can expect during our ritual. What Nicole and I have put together for this is we're gonna do an opening induction kind of thing where we get you connected to the source and open you up to your energetic. The source. It's where all your energy comes from, right? The head of the fountain, right? We're going to open up a connection to that to begin with, and then we're going to conjure each of the seven sphere archangels. We're going to do the Orphic hymn to get in tune with the divine energy of that particular sphere. We're going to conjure the archangel, and then we're going to conjure the four spirits of the talismans of the Key of Solomon that are associated with the planet. And what that does is it creates a divine, intellectual and intelligence and a spirit level connection to that particular planet's energies. In the Zeus cult, we talk about, from the Dervani manuscript, we get Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, and Zeus the all in all. And if you're familiar with Neoplatonism, this is a raw version of the noetic mind, the seven governors, and the material world that we see in the Divine Pymander, for example, and in later Hermetic texts. But this is a raw version of it. This was 450 BC is when this manuscript was probably written, and it's a commentary on this Orphic initiation. But this Orphic system was teaching that Zeus was the head. Zeus emanated all of the other spirits and gods and energies that formed creation, and Zeus is the all in all. He's also the world that we experience. Excuse me. When you map that to the excuse me, the levels of the spiritual, I want to say, vibrations that we interact with. In Hermetic Magic, it's always going to be a deity, at least within Planetary Magic, it's almost always a deity, an intelligence, and a spirit. And this you can find in Agrippa's Tables of the Planets. There's an intelligence and a spirit. In the Arbitel, there's the governor, and I think there's a spirits in there too. But basically, I've taken this approach to differentiating between the levels, and just kind of created this little system around it. It makes perfect sense to me, but it's something that I found in the different systems that I've worked with over the years. But what we're going to do is we're going to read the Orphic Hymn, and that basically energizes the ritual space with that planetary energy in its raw divine form. And then from that, we go down to conjure the Archangel and the 4 spirits of the Talismans. And from there we go on to do the actual statement of intent. And for each of the spheres, the statement of intent is going to be about receiving and integrating the energies of the divinity through the intelligence of the archangel, so that we can see and experience the manifestations of those powers in our lives through the 4 spirits. We're going to be attuning ourselves to each of the 7 spheres individually, cleaning out our own garbage that might have been engendered by our experiences with our stressful families or our stressful finances or whatever's going on, or seasonal affective disorder. And once we get that cleansed, each individual planet, we're going to also include a section where we harmonize all 7 of the spheres together, so that it's not, we're not 7 parts. Right? When we focus on each day as a planetary day, and each planet by itself, it's a way to draw our attention to and draw the attention of the universe in that particular form and vibration into our lives. So if we want Hermes energy and business success and connections through networks and communication and flow and protection of our goods and services as we sell them on the internet or as we ship them overseas, that's Hermes, right? And that's Mercury. And on Wednesday, Mercury Day, we'll conjure Mercury by his special names and his secret words, and we know his favorite wood that we make his wand out of is going to be ebony, and his city is Hermopolis, and we know his secret names. We call on him at the right time and his right hour, and we just focus on Mercury, right? This is not that. Okay, the Hermetic Harmonization is not about that. That's a very specific ritual to conjure and evoke Hermes. But planetary magic isn't. It is that. And that's powerful, and it's one of the most effective and most powerful ways of changing your life that I've ever experienced, and I do it a lot. But as a magician, as a human being who is a spark of the divine, who has a personality and a body, my own head, my own middle, and my own all in all of that I experience my life through, I possess all 7 spheres all the time. Rumi has a quote that I've seen going around where it says, every drop contains the ocean, right? The ocean is in every drop of the ocean. And as Hermeticists, every magician has all 7 spheres in them. Our natal chart shows sort of how those powers are going to manifest in our life. Those 7 spheres are going to manifest in our life. It represents the challenges we're going to face. And if you've had challenges in your life, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you have. And the powers of the planets, if you've been through these initiations, as you cleanse your lens, as you polish your lens and are able to focus that planetary energy more clearly in your life, you know that there is a period of transition and transformation where the darkness burns away, right? If you're dealing with your shadow side, it goes away and it's consumed in the light, and that energy is more purely manifesting through you in your day-to-day actions. that's great on a one at a time kind of level, and getting each of those 7 spheres cleaned out on your path of initiation is vitally important to get the whole thing kick-started, but after that, you're no longer held to your constraints of your natal chart. You're in harmony with your natal chart. You're not opposed to it. You're able to bring forth the most positive interpretations of your natal chart on a regular basis, and you're able to counter the most negative aspects of your natal chart with your knowledge and your wisdom that you gain from your initiations, right? But this balance that comes is something that you have to maintain with your awareness and your attention and your focus and your connection, your divine interaction, okay? And the divine Pymander in the Corpus Hermeticum, it talks about how the way to maintain your equilibrium is to pursue your source. You maintain a pious life. And what is a pious life? A pious life is one in which you pursue God, your essence, your essential self, right? And Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all. That's us, right? Here, let me pull up. Where is it? Agrippa's way of putting it. Hang on, just a second. I'm sorry. This one, right? No, let me turn off this. Sorry. Yeah. And that. Okay. Whosoever therefore shall know themselves shall know all things in themselves, right? That's the essence, know thyself. Cogito ergo sum. That's I think therefore I am. Cognoscere. I can't remember. Know thyself. Anyway, know thyself. It's the most important axiom of the Hermetic magician. And as we know ourselves, we know all things, right? Whosoever therefore shall know themselves shall know all things in themselves, especially they shall know God, according to whose image they were made, right? Pursue God. That's what the divine Pymander says. If you don't pursue God, the divine Pymander says that you get inflamed with these desires for things that cannot fulfill you. But when you pursue God, your source, what do you find? You're not pursuing something bigger than yourself. It is bigger than yourself, but it's not separate from yourself, and it's not different than yourself. So many people think that we're like bowing down to some big God on a throne or something, and it's not like that. It's us, right? And when you realize that a pious person is trying to understand themselves and their relationship with everything else that is also God, and everyone else that is also God, through the powers of these spirits that we have, their seals and their names and their secrets, when you understand that that's what we're trying to understand, that all these things are also God in a myriad of forms, and we're playing this huge symphony together, this harmonic, beautiful thing, and when you realize that that's what you could be doing, it's awesome, right? But life is hard, and from suffering comes wisdom, sure, but from suffering comes suffering, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's not fun. All right. So when stress comes, it can create dissonance and discord in your heart, in your mind, in your spheres, and it can bring things just a little bit out of alignment. If you're about my age, you got to see the Hubble telescope go up and be a colossal failure because the lens was off by just a little bit. It was out of focus and it was completely unusable until they created a new lens that they put up over it, and they were able to focus it. Right. They refocused it because they figured out exactly how much out of focus it was. They ground down this 30-foot lens up in Colorado. I got to see the place where they were grinding this huge lens for this thing. And they put it on this space shuttle and flew it up, and they had to invent something to even put the lens on it. It's complicated to clear out these spheres, and even after we go to all the effort to get ourselves clean and initiated and cleansed, something can come along that we didn't think about that puts us out of alignment, and we have to make adjustments, and it can be complicated, and it can be hard. But that's where this particular thing that I put together, this Hermetic Harmonization, comes in, because what it does is we're going we're going to conjure each of the 7 spheres, the deity, the archangel, and the 4 spirits that represent those powers in the material world. And when we do that, we're going to be sitting and bathing in the resonance of that sphere. Now, not only are we going to be doing that, but at the same time, Nicole's going to be playing her the notes that go along with. Hang on just a second. This is going to be. Hang on, I'm sorry, I didn't have this set up in time. But it's based on Agrippa's the theory of sound that we're trying to put together here. I'm trying to do too many things at once, and I need to just give me a second while I pull up a picture that is going to explain everything. As soon as I find my pictures folder. And that. Yes, Robert Flood. This is the, here we go. Haha. So I was supposed to set that graphic up, so all I had to do was turn it on before we did the show, but we were doing other things, and I forgot. So, anyway, this is Robert Flood's Divine Monochord. Let me get this a little bigger so you can see sort of what's going on here. This represents the harmony of the spheres, and I have actually, I think I have that one's actually on, right? So, all right. So the harmony of the spheres is basically when all 7 spheres, as they are projecting the forces of the 12 zodiacal signs that they're passing through, and the will of Zeus is being manifested here in the material world. Basically, each one of those spheres is vibrating at a certain level, and all of those spheres are in harmony, right? And the harmony of the spheres is what we're trying to develop in our sphere as a magician, in our personal cosmology, in our universe, through the process of the great work. All right, so that harmony of the spheres is reflected macrocosmically and microcosmically in everything we're doing here. So basically, here I'm trying to bring it up so you can see. These over here are the planetary seals. You've got Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun. We've got Venus, Mercury, and the Moon. Okay, that's the Chaldean the order of the planets from the Chaldean order, the Chaldean order of manifestation. This is the chain of manifestation. Idea comes from the mind of God. Where's my little bolt at? Oh, bolty. Oh, you know what? I gotta bring this into there, and then bring it down even further. Sorry about the delay. Okay. All right. Almost there. All right, so Bolty. Hopefully you can see him. All right, this is my cursor here. Hopefully you can see it. So there's the sun and then all the stuff. So up here, though, this is the mind of God. All right, up here represents the source, Zeus the head, right? This down here is all Zeus the middle, right? The 7 spheres and the intelligences and spirits, that's Zeus the middle. And then down here are the elements, ignis, air. Let me shrink this down a little bit. All right, so down here, fire, air, water, and earth. And that is also the Ptolemaic order of the elements, and it's also from the Corpus Hermeticum. When the divine uttered the logos, this holy word, when the sacred word escaped from the mind of God, or was uttered from the mind of God, depending on how you look at it, the elements all separated into their purities, right? And fire went to the top, and then air, and then water, and then earth. So this divine monochord is explaining how the one note of the universe is being played throughout the 7 spheres. And this is it's interesting if you've studied string theory at all. And I hate to bring up quantum anything when I talk about magic for obvious reasons, because it's sort of the same, but it's not the same. It's not the same at all. But you can see this one string here is being plucked, and that's basically, there is a theory that everything that exists, all the electrons that we see, is one electron. And string theory indicates that basically when we experience something, it's because that string has been connected at a certain point and is able to vibrate at that point. And some people have said that there's only one string. just like there's only one electron. So anyway, this divine monochord from Robert Flood is actually a current theory in some parts of physics. But what we're going to be doing during the conjuration of the seven spheres here, you can see that each one of these planetary things has a note associated with it, and these notes go back to Pythagoras. This is a Pythagorean system of notes that are assigned to the different planets, and the Pythagorean system of bringing harmonization to the spheres was basically you play these notes. And so for Saturn it'll be the notes in between here, and I don't understand exactly how it works. That's why Nicole is an expert on this, but she's got different chords for each of the planets that she'll play as we're doing the conjuration. And what that ends up doing is it creates a background harmonic. Intervals, that's what they're called. Yes, thank you. She'll be playing the different intervals that go along with each of the planets. So that will create a background harmonic that we'll be able to then continue to bring into our personal spheres as magicians through the statement of intent and the presence of the spirits themselves. Now, when the spirits themselves are in the room with us, being in their presence by itself is an initiatory experience. Their vibrations cause a resonance within our spiritual essence that draws us up to their level. We'll be going through each of the seven spheres, like I said, and we'll have basically what it'll be doing is it'll be cleaning out your own sphere as it relates to that sphere. If you've been through the initiations, you're going to understand what's going on. You're going to probably feel it a lot more clearly and cleanly. But this is not just for people who've been initiated into the seven spheres. Even if you haven't even started doing magic, the effects of this are going to be, let's see. Actually, I had some notes on this. So for initiates, it's going to be like a tune-up for your planetary machine. So as you're going through the initiations, you're building a very clear chain of manifestation, the ability to manifest all things through your body, right? Through your choices, your actions, your decisions, your desires, how you tune your attention to the world around you. You're learning how to do that with all seven spheres fully charged, fully operating. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not automatically going to be like, oh, everything goes my way now. It gets there. I mean, it's getting there. Some days are better than others, and every time it doesn't work, it's always my fault, in my opinion. Like, I missed something. I've gotten out of attunement, you know. But that's what these things are for. That's what this little ritual is for. I made it affordable. I hope $38 is not much, but that was what somebody suggested who did something similar. It also brings light to the world. And these kind of things are important, especially in the dark times. But anyway, so for initiates, what it's going to do, you've created this engine of manifestation within yourself, right? What the tune-up does is it basically just kind of puts you back in touch with your source and cleans out anything that got disjointed. It strengthens your manifestation, your clarity, and your power. It creates more power for you to have available when you're making your choices. It gives you a little bit more confidence, a little bit more momentum. Everything that we do when we are fully on as magicians has momentum that cannot be stopped. When you are fully in tune with the will of God that you are part of this God thing that we are all a part of according to this Dervani manuscript. When you're consciously doing that as part of it within the structure, not I am the king of everything and everything's going to do what I want. Not like that, but like in tune with it, being part of the thing that is making everything happen. That's you. When you're in tune with that, you become a powerful force for manifestation and for manifesting change and for manifesting your desires, because your desires are in tune with everything. And when that happens, what can stop you? What can stop you when you have all seven governors pushing your ideas into being through you, right? I mean, look, that's another story. Anyway, we can tap into this stuff on a regular basis if we let ourselves, okay? It's just a matter of being willing to drop the facade that we are not fully aware, right? Anyway, these attunements help us experience it in ways that we can get used to it, and be able to drop that facade a little bit better. But anyway, it pulls your sphere back into magical alignment if you've already been through the initiations. But for newcomers or for seekers, people who are just starting out, if it's you're just starting out your magical path or whatever, or you haven't started out your initiations, what this would be for you is it would be a gentle but potent introduction to Hermetic and planetary work. Okay, it's not going to be an initiation, but it will prepare you for your initiation. It's not going to release all the dark shadows of your inner self. It's not about that. It's just about empowering you, cleansing you, and bringing you into harmony with yourself and with the universe around you. Okay, and that's all we're going to be doing. And as we go through each of the 7 spheres, we're going to be offering planetary charity, which is a candle and a stick of incense. And sound itself. The sound itself is energy that flows into the spirits and into the spiritual world and permeates everything we are. It resonates and vibrates with everything else we're doing. And when you're in tune with that, it's really great. This is what I'm trying to say. But it'll also give you a chance to experience each of the planetary spirits as they're conjured by a professional magician or somebody who's actually been through it a couple times, and in a community of people who are also regularly doing this. It's a guided, it's safe, it's centered, and it presents a way to experience these angelic and spiritual forces in a way that's not honestly, it's not dangerous to do it on your own either, is the thing that bothers me about trying to say it's safer when you do it with other people. But it will make you feel better. If you're not into conjure magic and you haven't conjured if you haven't conjured spirits before, they're people without bodies. It's an experience that is useful for you, kind of sets your expectations, because we have people like Phil Hine and not Phil Hine, Lazewski and Poke Runyon talking about how when they conjure spirits, the walls shake and the pictures fall off the walls and lights flicker on and off, and the room gets super cold, and oh my gosh, there's smoke, then this incense doesn't smell right, and the candles are dancing and flaring and all this stuff. And every one of you will experience all of those things during your ritual at some point, but not in the same ritual. Okay, you're going to have like one ritual. Most of your rituals, you're not going to have a lot of supernatural activity, but every once in a while, something will fall off the wall when you're doing your magic. Every once in a while, your candles will, almost every time your candles will be in odd ways. But, it's not as... When you experience it, you get kind of, if you're like me, you get kind of upset when you see how it's been explained, because it's not supernatural in real life. I mean, it is supernatural, but it's super nature. It's not nature. It's not unnatural. It's super natural, but it's still natural. Super. It's the super part of nature. Anyway, you'll see what I mean if you haven't done it before. But you will feel a profound energetic shift. It's like energetic acupuncture for the soul is one way of putting it. But yeah, overall, this is not just for initiates. I think initiates will get by far the most value out of this, because it is. It's going to be opening, cleansing, and refocusing, and it's going to be offering charity for whatever is out of balance in our spheres in relation to everything else. And then after all the individual pieces, there's going to be a part where we bring it all together into a cohesive monochord, right? Where there's going to be a point where we don't just have 7 clear spheres, we put all 7 spheres back together into the one person that we are, manifesting our experiences through every day, right? So there's going to be a grounding session at the end, and I'm very interested to see. I know what's going to happen. I know it's going to happen for a lot of people who participate in this, but I'm interested to actually see it happen in the different people's lives. So if you want to participate in this, let me pull up my thingy here. Oh no, what have I done? There we go. Okay. There's a way to move things around on your monitors. that I am not great at. Let me pull up my site here. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Is it ready? It's not ready. What is it doing? Okay. Let me share my screen. All right. So if you go to my website here, this is rufusopus.com. If you go down to Hermetic Harmonizations, you can see sort of a quick overview of what it's going to be like. And here's where you sign up for it. When you sign up, you'll be added to the list, and the list is going to get a email from me probably going to start sending them out this afternoon or this evening, and it'll have the Zoom link. This will all be done live on a Zoom session. So I'll send you a link to the Zoom session. When you tune in, I would appreciate it if you could bring some headphones. The bowls, I don't know if you're hearing it right now. If you're going to listen to it over your speakerphone, it's not going to be, or your phone speaker, it's not going to be as meaningful. But I've done some recordings of the music while we're kind of practicing all this stuff. Let me turn this off. So I've done some actual listening to what it's like, and when Nicole is actually doing her magical so when she does the bowl playing, like if you've seen somebody play crystal bowls or whatever, or those spiritual bowls, there's a way to do it where you can make it make noise, and anybody can make it make noise. But when she's doing the healing things that she's actually been learning in this course and putting her spiritual experiences into it, the difference in the recorded even in the recorded version is something that you can't help but notice. Hopefully you're able to hear it here, but if you're going to sign up for the sessions, and I do recommend it for everybody, it's $38. It's 5:30 tomorrow evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And that is going to happen in the lunar hour. Oh, I didn't talk about the moon. Okay, so the moon, we're going to do it in the lunar hour because we're if you do planetary magic and you want to do something that's going to manifest through all 7 spheres, you need to do it in a lunar hour, because the moon every day passes through all 7 of the other planets' rays. All right, and this is all based on Ptolemy's discussions about this stuff back in the 15th, 16th century, 17th century, somewhere in there. Anyway, Ptolemy has this whole explanation for why this works, but the reason you can use silver for any talisman is because it represents the moon. It's the metal of the moon, and the moon passes through the rays of Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, all the rest of them. Every 24 hours, it's going to pass through the rays of every other planet. And the moon is the last sphere before manifestation. She is the world soul. If you look at Hecate, is the goddess of the moon. She's the world soul through which all of these ideas from the mind of God have to be born into this experienced reality, right? That's why the moon is the hour that we're going to be doing this in. So 5:30 p.m. Pacific is my local lunar hour, and I'll be doing the Conjuration in that time and sending that out to everybody else. If you want to use this as a manifestation rite, you can definitely do that. It is a good time for that. Have yourself a sigil representing the thing you want to manifest, and as we speak the part where we're conjuring the spirits of each of the 7 spheres, we'll talk about you'll hear us go through the part of receive this offering of smoke and of fire, bring us healing and health and balance, fix it. I haven't written all the script out for this, but it'll be a little bit more flowery and poetic, but fix all the things that are wrong between me and you and make straight the path between us so our energies are resonant, and all discords and dissonance is removed from my sphere, right? We're going to do that, and then at that point you say, and here is the seal that represents my desires. And then you picture that seal being passed into the mind of the deity of the sphere, and being passed from there into the hands of, or the hands of the archangel, and then passed into the hands of the 4 spirits, where they're going to materialize it into your physical world where you can experience it, right? So there's going to be a period of silence sort of within each of the planets where we can experience what's going on at that level, you know, and at that point you can feel free to tap into the powers of this ritual to manifest your desires as well. But I'm not gonna walk you through making up your own sigil. Hopefully you know how to do that. Anyway, that's sort of it in the nutshell, as it were. Let's see. Like, we are so used to the bumps, things. Yes, exactly. You're talking about the mystical things. Yeah, Deanna points out that when you have been doing this magic for a while, you hear all the stuff that's going on around you, and you do realize that is exactly what's going on. It's just they're letting you know that they're present, so you don't think your words are falling to the ground without bearing fruit. Let's see. So how it all works. I think I talked about the resonance principle, right? I think I did. Did I talk about everything else? I did. Practical details on how to sign up. Oh yeah, so it's Saturday at 5:30. To sign up, you go to my website. The homepage has a link to it on the homepage. Any second now. I have the slowest site in the world right now, but it's going to be speeded up. But just scroll down here to the Hermetic Harmonizations. You can either click add to cart here. Here, add to cart, or you can just click on it and then add it to your cart on the next page here. So add to cart, or just pay with PayPal. Sign up. $38, and it'll probably last about an hour. Takes probably about half an hour or so to do the initial conjuration, and then as we go through each of the 7 spheres, it takes a little bit. So it takes about half an hour, 45 minutes, and there's going to be some induction time and a little bit of intro, and then afterwards we're going to kind of ground out a little bit and then do the license to depart. Yes. All right, and I think that's it. Oh, and you should also feel free to bring your own incense and candles and symbols of the spirits if you want to. They're not necessary, but you can set up your own altar if you've got a table of practice. Having that present and a crystal on it through which the spirits can vibrate into your own sphere would be useful. You can kind of resonate with my conjuration if we're using all the same tables of practice and whatnot. So anyway, this is an opportunity for us to all kind of get together and raise the tincture of our spheres in a dark time. Oops, not that. There we go. So have a, let's see, is going to be through Zoom, you said? Yes, it's going to be through Zoom. I will share the link. I will send out the link via email to the people who have purchased it on my site. And if you have any questions, I'm on Facebook, and you can just ping me there. I'm at Joshua Gedbois or Rufus Opus. Just look for Rufus Opus on Facebook and send me a message, and I will answer it. If you're not on my friends list, feel free to add yourself or request friends, whatever, because whatever, you know. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I always forget to say this, but like, subscribe, and get notified and all that stuff, because it does make a difference. Discounts. If you're part of YouTube, if you're part of the YouTube membership, you get a discount based on what level you're at. And I found out today that I have $25. It's supposed to be 25%. You get off at the lowest level. I need to update my description so that says the right thing. But the coupon codes that you get with your membership do apply to this. Feel free to use those. That's what they're there for. So, for sure. Oh, great. That's just what I needed to show the world. All right. So anyway, have a great afternoon. If you have any questions, do feel free to shoot them to me in Messenger.